On 25th October we get not one, but 6 starter decks. One starter deck for each color: red, green, blue, purple, black and yellow. On paper, they are designed to power up the old leaders: Whitebeard, Uta, Doffy, Luffy, Smoker and Katakuri. However, in practice they will shake up the meta, providing the support also for other leaders from these colors. Let me show you the strongest cards from the starter decks and which leaders gets the power up. Starting with red ST-15 deck assigned to Whitebeard leader. The strongest card is strongest man in the world himself, Edward Newgate, 7 cost 8000 power character that reads: on play, give up to 1 rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. Activate main, you may rest this character, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 5000 power or less. Amazing card, but I feel like it's tailor-made not for Whitebeard but red-blue Marco leader. If we play Edward Newgate character on our 7 Dawn turn, we attach 1 rested Dawn to Marco and reduce one of our opponent's characters by 2000 power. With this combo, by using Newgate's activate main effect, afterwards we can KO any 7000 power character played by our opponent last turn. Next red character worth highlighting is Portgas the Ace, 5 cost 6000 power character that reads: if your leader's type includes Whitebeard pirates, this character gains rush. Once per turn, if this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may give this character minus 2000 power during this turn instead. If you plan to play any Whitebeard Pirates type leader, get a playset of this card. 5 cost 6000 power rusher is strong, but on top of that, Ace has built-in protection from field removal. What is important to note that this effect is once per turn, so we can even protect him from pesky removal triggers during our turn. Very sticky character card that forces your opponent to remove him by attacking into 6000 power stat line, which essentially saves you the 2k counters. Because of this card alone, I feel like we might see the return of red Ace leader to the meta. Moving on to green ST-16 deck assigned to Uta leader. If you are diehard Uta's #1 fan, then just take all the new cards and put them in your precious Uta's deck. However, even with all these new shiny toys, the deck underperforms. The best new green card is Shanks, 9 cost 11,000 power character that reads: on play, KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters. Vanilla statline plus removal effect, amazing boss monster. But there is one other green leader that can use this card better than Uta. Bonnie, the queen of green, stays unchanged yet for another expansion. Moving on to blue ST-17 deck assigned to Don Quixote do Flamingo leader. This is what aggro tempo players were waiting for. All new cards in this deck are playable and push Doffy to the top of the meta. Starting off with one and only Snake Princess Boa Hancock. 4 cost 6000 power character that reads: blocker. On play, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck and place them at the top or bottom of your deck in any order. Then give up to 1 rested Dawn card to your one of your the 7 Warlords of the Sea type leader or character cards. This card has everything: powerful vanilla statline, 6000 power blocker, top 3 cards stacking, and on top of that you can attach 1 rested Dawn to your Doffy leader for a discounted leader's effect. Pure value. If you combo Jinbe with Boa, you can put 4 characters on board for 6 Dawn. 4 Dawn to play Jinbe and bring Boa from hand. Stack another Jinbe on top from top 3 cards and attach 1 rested Dawn to Doffy leader. Attach active Dawn to Doffy and swing activating leader's effect for the last active Dawn. Summon Jinbe rested from the top of your deck and play another character from hand thanks to Jinbe's effect. As we know, blue decks like to bounce stuff, so it's only fitting that the next character is Trafalgar Law. 4 cost 5000 power character that reads: on play, you may return one of your characters to the owner's hand. If your leader has the 7 Warlords of the Sea type, return up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less to the owner's hand. Very interesting removal card that lets you bounce pesky 4 cost characters back to opponent's hand, for a cost of bouncing one of your own characters, which is a benefit as we play a lot of strong on-play characters in blue Doffy deck. Next is the clown himself, Buggy, 2k counter and stacker in 1 card. Brings consistency and ensures we have a target to bring into play from leader's effect on turn 2 going first. And last but not least, Crocodile. 4-cost 5000 power character that reads: on play, reveal one card from the top of your deck. If that card is the 7 Warlords of the C-type card, draw 2 cards and place 1 card from your hand at the top of your deck. For the character that is weak to water, he helps you wash the hands. Card draw, filtering and stacking top of the deck. Even more consistency in another blue card. No doubt, Dofi dominates 8.5 and OP09 meta in the East. Moving on to purple ST-18 deck assigned to Monkey D. Luffy leader. My favorite purple leader finally gets solid support and even more to come in OP09. But let's focus on new toys from starter deck first. Purple Luffy is also known as PCP, which means Perfect Curve Purple. It's because our best game plan is to go first, ramp into 4 Dawn on turn 2 and play 4-cost vanilla character. If everything goes well, then we ramp to 7 Dawn on turn 3. Amazing tempo, we are 2 Dawn ahead. And with release of ST-18 starter deck, we get perfect 7 Dawn play Luffy Taro. 7-cost 8000 power character that reads: on play, Dawn -1, play up to 1 purple Straw Hat Crew type character card with a cost of 5 or less from your hand. Yes, we can finally build a purple Luffy deck around Straw Hat characters, and on top of that in Wano style. So let's see what strong targets can Luffy Taro play that are also included in the starter deck. Zorojuro, 4-cost 6000 power character that reads: on play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 purple Straw Hat Crew type card and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. One of the best targets for Luffy Taro. Strong vanilla stat line and a searcher so we don't lose cards from hand by playing him. If you can play Luffy Taro into Zorojuro on curve, you should be miles ahead of your opponent. Another strong target is Sangoru, 5-cost 6000 power character that reads: when attacking once per turn, if you have 8 or more Dawn cards on your field, draw 1 card. And guess what? After playing him from Luffy Taro effect, on your next turn you will be on 8 Dawn. Another strong tempo play that draws you a card. But that's not all. We also get a very strong utility support. Usohachi, 2k counter character that reads: on play, if you have 8 or more Dawn cards on your field, rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. For such a fast deck, resting opponent's blocker for 3 Dawn might be game deciding. On top of that, if you don't need to play him for his effect, Usohachi is still a 2k counter in hand. And last but not least, beautiful Navigator Onami. 4-cost 2000 power blocker that reads: on play, if you have 8 or more Dawn cards on your field, trash 1 card from your hand and draw 2 cards. At first glance, it might seem expensive to play a blocker for 4 Dawn, but keep in mind we can bring Onami with Luffy Taro effect to not only develop a blocker, but also draw and filter our hand. Amazing utility character card and beautiful art of our Straw Hat Kunoichi. Nin nin! Moving on to black ST-19 deck assigned to Smoker leader. The best card is Tashigi, a must-have for any Smoker main. 5-cost, 6000 power that reads: on play, if your leader is Smoker, give up to 1 of your opponent's characters -4 cost during this turn. Activate main once per turn. If this character was played on this turn, trash up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 0. Doesn't matter what your opponent played on the previous turn, Tashigi can trash it. It's important to note we are trashing the opponent's character, so even Sabo is in danger. Another character card is Sengoku. Much needed 1-cost hand filtering and draw. Very good quality of life upgrade for Smoker players. Moving on to yellow ST-20 deck assigned to Charlotte Katakuri leader. I think this is the weakest starter deck from the 6 presented today. We already have solid yellow cards card pool. Worth highlighting is 5-cost Katakuri character that is a viable option to play on curve in Katakuri deck. However, I feel like Gedatsu is still superior play on 5 Dawn turn. Another cool card is upgrade to 2k counters Brule. 2k counter with the trigger that reads: trigger, look at up to 1 card from the top of your or your opponent's life cards and place it at the top or bottom of the life cards. Then add this card to your hand. So not only we get a piece of information from our opponent's life if we want to, but also get the 2k counter to hand. If you are purple-yellow pulling main, for sure upgrade your 2k counters pool with a playset of Brule. In conclusion, we will receive a lot of strong cards across these 6 starter decks. Blue Doffy and purple Luffy leaders are expected to skyrocket to the top of the meta, followed closely by red, blue Marco and Smoker. But as always, West can surprise us with the innovation, so expect the meta shift after the decks released on 25th of October. But that's it for today. Let me know in the comments below for which deck are you the most excited. Thank you for watching, see you in the next video, bye bye.